Plua. Number 51, Colin Heffron. Number 80, Devin Williams. Number 27, Sean Davis. Number 19, Leo Stoltz. Number 17, Manolo Sanchez. Number 29, Stefano Manomo. And number 21, Marius Omicron. That is your New York Red Bulls II starting lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, Toronto C2 substitutes for tonight's game are goalkeeper number 25, Alex Bono. Number 37, Adam Bouchard. Number 36, Marcos Godinho. Number 58, Anthony Ostario. Number 61, Bula Job. Number 35, Edwin Rivas. And number 22, Jordan Hamilton. And now, TFC2 fans, please welcome tonight's starting 11, led by head coach Jason Banks. Number 40, goalkeeper Quinlan Roberts. Number 32, Wesley Sharpie. Number 33, Skylar Thomas. Number 38, Lamont Simonin. Number 44, Mark Anthony Kay. Number 14, Jay Chapman. Number 45, Luca Uccello. Number 31, Sal Bernal. Number 48, Raheem Edwards. Number 41, Mo Babouli. And number 42, Massimo Mirabelli. Give it up for your starting lineup for TFC2.
After a big 5-0 win for the first team over Orlando this afternoon, TFC2 will look to replicate that result tonight when they take on New York Red Bulls II live from the Ontario Soccer Centre. Hi everyone, I'm Matt Antonio, joined by Terry Dunfield for tonight's game, Toronto FC2 taking on the New York Red Bulls. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for both sides. For Toronto, Quillan Roberts back in goal for the Baby Reds. He was not in action in Wednesday's loss. And you see there, Clement Simonin, one of TFC's first-round picks from the 2015 draft. He is making his first appearance for Toronto FC 2 since July 11th. Also in the starting lineup, Massimo Mirabelli, after not having started for the past 2 matches, coming on as a sub. For the New York Red Bulls, they are led by goalkeeper Santiago Castano. You see his record there in 17 matches. And a player to watch for is midfielder Leo Stoles. He is always a dangerous threat for the Red Bulls. On Wednesday, Toronto fell 2-0 to the Harrisburg City Islanders, spoiling their bid for consecutive victories for the first time in franchise history. Harrisburg City came out with intense pressure and were rewarded in the 26th minute with the opening goal of the match. That sparked a bit of momentum for Toronto, but they were unable to capitalize before the half, and Harrisburg doubled its lead early in the second half on a brilliant strike from Brett Jankowskis. That again triggered a spark for TFC2 as they carried the play for the majority of the rest of the match, but they were unable to score. Tonight is the second meeting of the season between these two clubs, Toronto and New York. In their first matchup back on April 4th, New York emerged with a 4-1 victory. New York got goals from 4 different scorers, while Toronto had to settle for an own goal from the Red Bulls to get on the board. Terry, Toronto is once again playing a team in a playoff race. How do they replicate that performance from Wednesday night and build on that to create some goals here tonight?
For me, there's probably 3 keys I'd be looking at. Goals, goals, and more goals. We're creating chances against Harrisburg, 4 or 5 really, really good chances, but unfortunately we weren't able to put them away. Tonight, Mirabelli's come into the lineup, as you say, also Edwards, so hopefully that'll help. Ball retention with a purpose. Can we keep moving the ball as we have been, keep playing that good possession-based football, but with a purpose? If there's an opportunity to play it out to the wing and drive down the wing and all of a sudden get across it, or play it through the lines, play with a purpose after we've had possession for a few passes. And also, one of the keys would be the team's played 3 games in 7 days. What are their fitness levels like? It's important that the subs are going to be ready. So those would be the factors for me.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 3rd game in 7 days. It's also the 5th game in 15 days for TFC2. How much of a toll does that take on your body when you're playing so many minutes? And some players will have been in the lineup for all 5 games.
A huge toll. I know it's a young squad. There's probably not a player over the age of 23, but the heat, playing on this artificial surface and games in quick succession, it's not like other sports. It takes time to recover in football. TFC2 are very lucky. They've got a great training facility up at Downsview where they've got masseurs around them, hot tubs, cold tubs, everything that they need, but it's important that they recover.
A couple of other lineup notes for Toronto to note. Captain Chris Manella, he is not in the lineup tonight. He's got a bit of a knock on his leg that he has been bothering him over the last 2 games. On a positive side, we see Luca Uccello is back in the starting lineup. It's his first start since August 1st. He came in as a sub on August 12th. Raheem Edwards is making his first start since that game, August 12th in Montreal. He has been a substitute in the last 2 games. And a player that we should be keeping an eye on, probably see him in the second half, is Adam Bouchard. He has been out since August 1st with an ankle injury. He will likely come in. I imagine we'll see him. Clement Simonin, you spoke to Jason Bent before the game. The plan for Clement is to use him for 1 half tonight as he's coming back from a leg injury, just to get him some minutes. Yeah,
possibly 60 minutes, see how much they can get out of him. He was drafted high, so I expect big things of this. Will be the first time I've seen him play. 2
of the 3 first-round picks for Toronto FC in this past year's draft are in the starting 11 tonight, and the 3rd is on the bench in goalkeeper Alex Bono. That, of course, is Clement Simonin and Skylar Thomas. He was another high draft pick. So these are sort of the cornerstones that Toronto was looking to when they drafted them earlier this year, and there have been very few times where they get to see them playing together, so this will be a big step in the development of those 2 players, not only for their own careers, but as they form a tandem and hopefully move up the ranks.
Yeah, for sure. It's important. You want to see core guys stay together. Don't forget this team was sort of thrown together at the beginning of the season. This is our inaugural season, so these guys haven't played together a long time, so they are doing really well.
For New York, they are winless in their last 3 contests, a loss and 2 draws. That follows on the heels of a 3-game winning streak. They currently sit in 5th in the Eastern Conference, just 1 point up on Pittsburgh and 2 up on Harrisburg City, who sit outside the playoff picture. Both clubs have games in hand. They are 3 points behind Charleston for 3rd place, however, so this is a pivotal game for them. We will have more information on the visiting squad following the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise and remove your hats for tonight's national anthems. Now let's join together and sing the Canadian national anthem.
The New York Red Bulls II are 4-4-3 away from home this season, an impressive mark, managing to stay at 500 as the visitors this season. Toronto FC 2 looking to play the role of spoiler tonight as New York battles for position in that Eastern Conference playoff race. The New York Red Bulls, they are without their leading scorer, Chris Sonis. He is not in the starting 11. He leads the team with 5 goals. He is listed as a reserve as a substitute for tonight. And Dan Bedoya is the team leader in assists with 4. He is also not in the starting 11 tonight. He will be coming off the bench at some point for the Red Bulls, who we have to imagine. Terry, it was an interesting game on Wednesday evening. We saw a couple of players from the first team come down to get some experience, get some minutes. One of those was goalkeeper Chris Konopka, and he earned the clean sheet this afternoon in a 5-0 win over Orlando. So you have to imagine that was a very positive experience for him to be able to come down here and play on Wednesday night. Yeah, that's a great example of showing the usefulness of the league. He came here on Wednesday, played in a proper game in a league with 3 points under pressure, got a great 45 minutes under his belt, and then goes out there today, as you say, and played 90 minutes, 5 massive points in front of 30,000. So USL League, well done. And Chris Konopka actually spoke about that in the media availability yesterday. He said it's the type of thing that you can't replicate. You can train, as many times as you want, but you're never going to be able to replicate that, as you said, the pressure of knowing that there are points on the line, and the saves that need to be made are important saves. And it was a valuable experience for him. And unfortunately for Toronto, was not able to help them pull out the 3 points for TFC2 on Wednesday night, but he was able to pull out the points for the MLS squad this afternoon. And that's a big game for him because there's some debate between him and Joe Bendick, who will be the keeper for the first club going down the stretch, and he made a strong case for himself this afternoon.
Yeah, at the moment, the jersey's his to lose. And these games are bigger, and there's a lot more at stake than, say, a reserve game. So well done for Chris taking his chance today and doing well on Wednesday.
And of course, there was also Nick Haglund played in the second half on Wednesday evening. He did not get into the match this afternoon for the first team, but again, a valuable experience for him, valuable minutes as he returns from injury. But we're underway here at the Ontario Soccer Centre in Vaughan. Toronto FC 2 in the all-red kits, the New York Red Bulls 2 with the blue tops and socks and the yellow shorts. This is a different uniform setup than what we saw in New York back in April. It was New York in white and red and Toronto wearing the black kits. The only time this season they've done that. But they're in the home reds this evening, and they're going to be looking for 3 points, and they've got an impressive lineup on the field tonight. Wesley Sharpie pushing it forward, looking for Mo Babouli, a little bit out of his reach, and it's played back to goalkeeper Santiago Castano.
Yeah, there's no excuses for TFC tonight. They match up against a so-called second team in New York. They're not up against as many experienced players tonight as they were against Harrisburg and also Richmond. So it'll be a good test. A lot of these players are at a similar stage in their career as the TFC players.
There's Clement Simonin, just his second start for Toronto this season. He's been up with the first team a little bit, but he's also dealt with some nagging leg injuries pretty much all season long, and he will be glad to get the minutes in. And with the defensive troubles with the first team is seeing a little bit this year, you know, he wants to make a case for himself to be brought back up and possibly be part of that solution as they push towards the MLS playoffs. There's Wesley Sharpie. Working it past midfield, it's given away. Taken there by Devin Williams for a moment. And now New York will be content to play it along their own back line. Michael Defont. Marius Obacott up on this near side. Sean McLaws looking to spring Manolo Sanchez. Unable to do so, and he picks up some contact there. And a foul, I believe, being called on Toronto here, but in the early stages of this match, just 2 minutes in, and we're going to see the trainers of the New York Red Bulls 2 come take a look at Manolo Sanchez.
Now, any head injuries, physios are pretty quick to come in, and the ref stops the game right away, as he should.
I think it may have actually been a deflection from the ball there. I'm not sure there was any contact from the Toronto player, but he's up and off to the sidelines, so jogging it out. Looks to be in good enough form to return to this game shortly.
Looking at the two-team setup, we've got 2 4-3-3 systems, so we should be quite evenly matched. Speaking to Jason before the game, he expects a high-pressing front three from New York, so hopefully 1 or 2 passes we can get out of that and get in behind them. A little bit similar to Harrisburg the other night.
We did see from Harrisburg City very intense, very high pressure on when Toronto had control in their own territory. That's a cross in, easily handled by Quillen Roberts. Quillen wearing the captain's armband tonight in the absence of Chris Manella, as mentioned off the top, out with a leg injury right now. Simonin, Jay Chapman, playing his 3rd consecutive game for TFC2, was very strong in his first game a week ago against the Richmond Kickers last Saturday afternoon, and did not have as much success on Wednesday evening against Harrisburg City, but always a dangerous player in this lineup. Raheem Edwards, give and go one touch with Mo Babouli. Edwards plowing his way through, was not able to have the ball settle for him on his foot, and it will be cleared by New York.
Bright start from Edwards there. He was very good the last couple of games when he's come on, so I'm glad to see Jason's giving him the opportunity to play. Hopefully he can take it.
Edwards is one of 5 TFC2 players to represent Canada at the Pan Am Games, and he has played well in his return since then. That tournament playing for his country did some positive for him. He's not always a starter on this club, but when he is, whether he's a starter or a reserve, always seems to bring a high amount of energy to this lineup. Swing across for Mark Anthony Kay. Okay, with plenty of space to operate as he works his way in. Edwards looking for an opening. We'll flick it forward for Kay. And there's Devin Williams there providing some defense.
I'd like to see Edwards in that position there once he's got him squared up one-on-one, take him on himself there. Defenders don't like to be isolated like that.
It's out for a goal kick to New York, and Castano will take his time, setting it up just perfectly. Fans, don't forget to visit the new USLsoccer.com. Get the latest news and live stats. And check out the new social media hub. Skylar Thomas back in defense there, able to push it out of bounds, creates a New York throw-in. It's a strong back four for TFC2 this evening with the first-round picks, Thomas and Simonin, and Wesley Sharpie over there as well.
You can see right away Simonin's quite comfortable on the ball.
There's Michael DeFont. Pushed forward by Sean Davis. And Stefano Bonomo pushing it up as well. Sharpie there to dispossess, and Quillen Roberts will boot this up towards midfield. Mobabuli jockeying for position with Michael DeFont. Chapman. Sal Bernal. An open space for Luca Uccello. Now Chapman. Sharpie and Bernal. And Chapman will push back for defender Skylar Thomas. Simonin. Knocked down by McLaws. Chapman does well to help Luca Uccello dispossess there, and Edwards will push forward. Edwards able to get around a defender. Edwards still carrying. Edwards crossing the middle. There's a right-footed strike and stopped by Castano. Good play there from Raheem Edwards on his off foot. He's a left-footed shooter, and that shot coming from his right foot, and not much trouble for Castano.
Yeah, great play from TFC. Jay Chapman wins a tackle, which probably isn't one of his strengths. And you'll see here on the replay. Edwards squares him up one-on-one, goes past him here, and on his weaker foot gets a shot off.
Skylar Thomas will play back for Quillen Roberts. It's a very comfortable night for football today. It was warm in the afternoon again, as it has been in Toronto the last couple of weeks, but with the sun having set, it's quite comfortable. Not much breeze to speak of either, so it should be very comfortable for the players down on the pitch. There is Stefano Bonomo. McLaws. Williams. Poorly played and taken by Mirabelli. There's Chapman with it. Chapman with some open space. Will push himself forward. Finds Edwards. Edwards stopped by Castano. And it comes to Mirabelli. Mirabelli with a cross, and it's off the top of the goal. And another good scoring opportunity for TFC2.
Fantastic ball we see there from Chapman into Edwards. Keeper's come out and done really well for New York, but brilliant play.
Edwards looked like he was trying to just chip it over the keeper there and didn't get it high enough.
Yeah, the keeper stood up well there. Possibly he could have gone around him.
In a split-second decision, however, he probably had already made up his mind that that's what he wanted to do, and just tip your cap to the keeper.
I think you've been watching the Premier League this morning.
Simonin goes up with the header. It goes backwards towards the Toronto goal. Mark-Anthony Kay has to help out. Now Chapman will send it up along the wing for Mirabelli. His pass is deflected off his teammate.
It was the right pass, but the overlap just never came. Good idea.
There's Devin Williams. Sanchez, one touch. Now comes for McLaws. Williams. Davis. Plua. Long ball looking for a teammate down the left wing, but Wesley Sharpie does well to get back. Foul here on Sean Davis, and Toronto will get a free kick within their own territory.
After just 10 minutes, it looks like Toronto FC could get in behind the right back here. Davis looks dangerous tonight. Sorry, Edwards.
There's Mo Babuli. Babuli looking for a teammate and finds Sal Bernal. He was looking for Raheem Edwards. That pass was intercepted by Sean Davis. And New York will start the counter. There's Sanchez. On to the left side. Still carrying in. That was
good play there from Sanchez. He followed his pass, got around the outside, but the ball was a little bit heavy.
It was Marius Obakop who was carrying forward and was not able to find Sanchez with the ball there. Simonin. Uccello. Skylar Thomas. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Skylar Thomas able to get back in defense there in a tricky spot for the Toronto defender, and he's able to get away without being called there. McLaws runs it down in the corner. Now Williams. One touch in for Stoles. He's bumped off it. And Edwards will boot it upfield for the Reds.
Yeah, Skylar got away with one there. He uses athleticism to get him out of trouble, but really the New York player, once he was in there, should have done better.
Simonin able to step up. And now Mirabelli. Bernal. Sharpie. Cello. Sharpie again, and now Thomas. Chapman, Uccello. Thomas will have to scamper back to get a touch to this. Sharpie attempts to play forward, but the Red Bulls will intercept for a moment, and now Toronto has got it back again.
It's a new midfield today for TFC. Our distances look quite good. Luke has come in there, and he's had a good start to the game.
Edwards takes some contact there, holding the left ankle. The contact coming from Michael Defont. A second look at that. And an aggressive challenge there from Michael Defont, but Raheem Edwards seems to be able to walk it off, no problem.
It looked like he followed through there. It possibly could be a yellow, but it looks like he got away with one. Just a talking to.
If that was in the game between TFC and Orlando this afternoon, almost certainly would have been a card. I lost track of how many cards there were in that match.
Yeah, no, Orlando were chasing red shirts all day. As soon as they got close to one, it was a booking.
Chapman, that little one touch from Bernal, was looking for Edwards, but there was a New York defender in the way of that. Chapman will try to push it forward himself, taking on two New York players, tries to spin through, he's still with it. And now Chapman is going to be whistled there. It looked like he may have got an arm or an elbow up into the face of the New York defender.
Yeah, I think he just dragged him back there, but fantastic skill and body strength. He's not the strongest looking, but he showed a great center of gravity there.
It was always going to be a difficult task for him there, going 1-on-2 against two New York defenders. Castano pushes it forward. Sanchez there, met by Marc-Anthony Kaye. Clement Simonin able to knock it down perfectly for his teammate. And Kaye will put that right into the middle. And New York walking right in. Bonomo knocked away. And Wesley Sharpie all the way onto the left side of the field, the right back, crossing all the way over in support of his teammates. Devin Williams will settle it down and push it backwards to his center back, Conrad Plua. Obakop dispossessed. And Uccello takes a bump there and wins himself a free kick.
Bright start to the first half. I think overall Jason Bent will be happy. A couple of good chances for Edwards, we need to take one now.
New York is a team that has been scored upon. They are the only Eastern Conference playoff team with a negative playoff differential, so they do not wildly outscore their opponents. In fact, over the course of the season, they haven't in total outscored their opponents at all, but it's been successful for them in getting them into a playoff position at this point. But perhaps something that Toronto will be able to take advantage of, a team that does not defend overly well. At least the goals against number will lead you to believe that. Trio of Toronto players converge on the ball there, but New York is able to push it up. Sanchez, and that's knocked down by Edwards with a thigh-high left leg. Babuli able to get a piece of that, but it's sent out of bounds by Conrad Plua. Deflected off Babuli. New York will throw in. McLaws. Defont. Plua. That's Colin Heffron on the far side. Now pushed forward by Sean Davis, but easily handled by Quillen Roberts as he was trying to lob that up for one of his strikers. Simonin. Falls right to Plua. Push forward right at midfield. Davis.
TFC's defensive shape here is quite good. They're letting New York have it in their own half, but as soon as they step in, there's a high pressure coming in. They're pressing really well as a team.
Edwards pulls down McLaws there. Quick free kick taken. It's shouldered forward by Bonamont, and he's got it back now. He'll take a strike, and it's easily handled by Quillen Roberts with a short dive to his right. And difficult to beat Quillen Roberts with that caliber shot from that distance.
Definitely. Q showed good hands though to keep hold of that.
Just over a quarter of an hour gone here in Toronto. No score between TFC 2 and New York Red Bulls 2. Skylar Thomas. Pushes through for Babuli.
Good pass through the lines there from Skylar. It's important Mo gets hold of it there.
Shifty work there from Michael Defont. Has his team moving forward. Comes onto the right flank for Sanchez. Sanchez working into a dangerous area, but excellent defense there from Mark Anthony Kay, and will be a quick counterattack from Toronto. Raheem Edwards looking to cross all the way to the far side of the field for Mirabelli. The execution could be better there from Raheem Edwards.
Great defending from Kay there, and then he runs 50 yards to get the next pass. Edwards decides not to give it to him, but I think he should have gone with a simple pass into Kay there.
Kay will work to get back again. It's Sanchez crossing in, and it's booted out by Thomas, and now Uccello will send it towards midfield. Davis receives that one touch back. Edwards does make the simple pass this time when he finds Jay Chapman with some open space. Chapman has Babuli with him. Will take on the defender one-on-one, and a good slide challenge there from Michael Defont will knock it out of bounds for a Toronto throw.
Yeah, good defending from the New York player there, but that's what we want. We want to see Chapman running at the back four like that. Good positive play.
Okay, throws in for Edwards. Tries a 1 foot little back heel flick to Babuli, and now Simonin will knock it down. Uccello. Babuli, Chapman. Edwards unable to find that pass. Sanchez pushes it past Mark Anthony Kay, will run after it. Williams. His pass over for Marius Obakop is behind him. He has to run back for it, and now the second pass is poor, and Bernal will intercept. There's Mo Babuli. Babuli with an attempt. Babuli, great save by Castano.
Fantastic counterattack from TFC there. Mo Babuli gets played in, does as you should, shoots across the keeper, and it's a fantastic save from the goalie. Great technique from Mo. As your coach, you always shoot across the keepers in case he lets out a rebound like that. Unfortunately, Edwards couldn't get out on the end of it.
Mirabelli does well to get the body positioning and pick up the ball. And Toronto still threatening here. And that's knocked out off a New York player. Toronto will throw. We're approaching 20 minutes played here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. Toronto has looked the more dangerous of the two sides thus far.
I've been impressed with Toronto in transition. They're not sort of going square or back with their passes. They're looking for that cutting edge passes we've seen there for when we played Moen.
It's thrown in, looking for Babouli. New York will counterattack, but Wesley Sharpie is there to get it back for Toronto. Simonin and Skylar Thomas. Babouli has to deal with a little bit of a tug, and he will get the foul drawn there. It'll be a free kick and a very good spot for Toronto.
Good hold-up play there from Mo. That was a great ball in from Skylar into his feet. Earlier on, one got away from him, but good strength from Mo.
Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider. Join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. And it's going to be Jay Chapman. There's a few free kick specialists in this starting 11 tonight. Babouli, Chapman, Uccello among them. Chapman will play it in. It's headed forward. It comes down for Simonin. He'll put it in, but the referee's whistle had gone. And there was a foul, I believe, there on Clément Simonin. And will negate the goal.
A little bit unlucky there. I think he doesn't mean to, but it just touches his hand inadvertently. Ref calls it handball.
And you know the New York players are not happy when he decides to put the ball in after the whistle.
No. Most of the time that's a yellow card. But.
Despite the no goals so far and being shut out on Wednesday evening, this is a Toronto side that in the first 20 minutes to me looks like they're playing with quite a bit of confidence, a little bit more of a swagger than we've seen from this Toronto team in recent weeks. And I'm sure the additions to the lineup, a guy like Clément Simonin or a Jay Chapman, that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, no, both players have acquitted themselves well. I think tonight New York are doing well too. It's a good advert for young soccer in North America.
Babouli with the shot there, easily handled by Castano. But the Toronto squad is making the New York goalkeeper work tonight in the first half. Sanchez able to push it onto the right flank for McLaws, who will find Devin Williams. Chapman gets a foot to that. And a one touch from Bernal right onto the foot of Sanchez. And now pushing forward, that's Davis, or excuse me, Leo Stoles, and taken down by Simonin. And now it will be New York's turn to have a free kick in a very good spot.
Yeah, it's important TFC don't overplay there. Bernal tried to keep the ball and go back. Maybe it was better to take a touch there. Dangerous spot here for this free kick.
Maybe 25 yards out and pretty much right in line with the right post when you're looking at the goal.
For a free kick specialist, this is right in your wheelhouse. It's not too close, so you can get it over the wall.
Got a number of New York players standing over it. Marius Obaka, number 21, is among them. It's taken instead by Davis, and it's gone wide of the goal. And no contact made there by Quillen Roberts, so it will be a goal kick for Toronto. Terry, your thoughts on that free kick decision from New York?
Yeah, it was good technique. It never really was troubling Q. I think he had it covered. He did well to pull his arms back so not to give up a corner, but yeah.
Roberts now will push it forward for Sharpie. Now Chapman. Thomas. Mirabelli and Bernal work the far side of the field. Comes back down now for Thomas. Heads it forward. Uccello with a one touch to Chapman. Chapman trying to play that through and a little bit out of reach of Babouli.
Talk to him.
Castano Pushes upfield. Sanchez and Kay go up, and it comes down to Clément Simonin.
Good composed play by Simonin there, and then finished it off with a nice diag.
Mirabelli, dispossessed, given away and taken by Uccello. There's Mirabelli. Mirabelli working in for Bernal. His cross and is off the hands of Castano, and it's gone out for a corner for Toronto. Good pressure there from Toronto, and maybe somewhat poor technique from Castano. You would expect him to be able to hold on to that. It was a cross on the turf without a lot of power on it.
Yeah, no, it was good play from TFC. High pressure there. They turned the ball over. Good overlap. They got the cross in. He needed to bring out his pitching wedge, chip it to the back post, but yeah, good play.
And it's Jay Chapman, who will take the corner kick. Played in. Edwards will head it. And it's cleared easily by New York. And that's a number of times we've seen that now from Jay Chapman. He's quite heavy on the corner kicks and not putting it in a good position for his teammates to be able to do anything with it.
No, he needs to turn his boots down on the corner, or the TFC player needs to make a run to the back post.
There's Bonomo. Plays in for Sanchez. Edwards will get a piece of that. And it's going to be pushed out, and I believe corner kick is the determination.
The ref's given a corner. It looked like a goal kick from here. Great covering play from Edwards.
And just in the corner there, you can see Adam Bouchard, Toronto sub tonight, getting some preparation work in, as we expect to see him at some point in this game as he returns from his ankle injury. McLaws will loft that in. Roberts easily handles.
Good handling there from Roberts. It's important, though, when the corner goes back like that, the back four push out.
Simonin. Edwards. Edwards will stop up. Marc-Anthony Kay. Kabuli. Kabuli still with it, carrying through. Comes for Bernal. Bernal with a strike, and it's blocked. Bernal now plays for Uccello. Uccello with a strike, and this is well wide of the goal, and will be a goal kick.
Good patient play from TFC around the box there. It comes out to Luca, needs to get his head over top of it, but it's good shooting from there.
Just shy of half an hour played here in Toronto. TFC 2 and the New York Red Bulls 2. Pretty evenly matched so far. Toronto can say that they've had the better scoring opportunities, but New York has been dangerous at times as well. There's Sharpie, dispossessed, good sliding challenge there. Pushed out wide for Sanchez. Sanchez with a go at goal, blocked by Marc-Anthony Kay and cleared by Toronto. Comes down now for Williams. Davis. Skylar Thomas with some good defending there, and he is pulled down by Marius Obakop and has won the free kick for Toronto. Simonin plays quickly. Chapman. Simonin, cross looking for Sharpie, a little bit too heavy, and it floats out of bounds.
I've been impressed with Simonin. He's done well considering he's been off for a while. One or two passes like that won't bother the coach.
Put up for Stefano Bonomo. Wesley Sharpie in the area defending. Sharpie knocks it out. Will be a throw-in for the Red Bulls. Devin Williams. There's McLaws. Crosses in. Going up for it is Thomas. And Roberts will be able to grab it off the bounce. Skylar Thomas, the taller of the two players there. He and Bonomo came together, and the ball just sort of bounced right into the hands of Quillen Roberts.
Yeah, Skylar did really well there. It was a good cross from the New York player. It's important Edwards tries to get out there to stop the cross.
Marc-Anthony Kay, a little bit of a risky pass there, but finds Jay Chapman. Bernal's one touch intended for Uccello. He was already pushing upfield. Sharpie.
It was actually the right pass there, but Luke has actually run past him there.
Bernal tries a through ball there for Babuli. It's taken by McLaws, and it's cleared out of bounds. Good pressure there from Mo Babuli in Toronto. So we're going to see a substitute here.
Substitution in the 30th minute by TFC2.
It's going to be Adam Bouchard in, Clement Simonin out. So a half hour of work for Clement Simonin
Adam Bouchard
in his rehab from a leg injury. And as you mentioned several times, Terry, very strong performance from the French defender.
Yeah, I was impressed with his defending and also how comfortable he was on the ball. Played a couple of dives that got away from him there, but overall, as long as he's not pulled anything, he'll be happy with that 30 minutes.
And the man replacing him, Adam Bouchard, is also coming back from an injury. He sustained an ankle injury on August 1st against Louisville, has not played since then. And he, in his time before being injured, coming back from the Pan Am Games, there was a stretch of 3 games in a row where he had to deal with one of the top scorers in the USL, and he performed well in each of those games. So he's a strong defender, certainly not afraid to take on some of the best players in the league. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Let's see what Jay Chapman can do with his Nikes here. He's been heavy on corner kicks in the last couple of games. Plays this one in, a little bit heavy again. Bouchard was running in, but it was easily cleared by New York. And Quillen Roberts out all the way almost to midfield to meet that and play it right back in for Toronto. Going up with the header. Conrad Plua will push it forward for the Red Bulls. On a quick counter-attack, but easily diffused by Toronto.
Yeah, Chapman's put in 2 or 3 good tackles in the middle of the park. We didn't see that in the last game.
Roberts finds Kay, and that will bounce off of his chest and roll out of bounds. Defont. Williams. One touch through, looked like it might have been a little bit of a handball there for New York. The referee doesn't call, so we play on. McLaws. Sanchez flips up for McLaws. He tries to run onto it. He does cross it in. Takes a check there from Raheem Edwards. And the two of them will peel themselves off the turf. Babuli did well to keep that in on this near side here, but it's New York still with the possession. Williams flips in for Stoles. Stoles, his touch was a little bit too heavy there as he had to run back onto it. And now Toronto trying to clear. Here's Williams. Davis. And now Plua. Plays through for Sanchez. His through ball for McLaws. Edwards with a good sliding challenge there. Gets the ball first, and he picks himself up and will begin the counter for Toronto.
Fantastic tackle from Edwards there. Just needs to keep the ball after he's done the good work.
Sal Bernal. Mirabelli. Cross finds Mo Babuli. Babuli one-on-one with the defender. Will carry it in, but good work there. Takes a deflection right in front of the goal. And here's Chapman. Chapman with a strike. And that's out wide. Toronto arguing it was deflected, but the referee says it was straight out, and it will be a goal kick. Toronto very nearly fortunate there as the goalkeeper tried to clear, and the deflection landed right in the middle of the box.
Yeah, good play from TFC there. It's good to see on a fast break like that we had 3 players in the box waiting for a cross, and sometimes you get that little bit of luck.
And it was Michael Defont who was defending Mo Babuli one-on-one, did very well on that play. Thrown back in, Bernal bumped off it. This one will be retaken a little bit further down the pitch. Sharpie gets back. That's Babuli. Cross in. I think Edwards was the intended target there, but it curls right to goal. And Castano will send it out. Bonomo unable to run it down. And a good call from the official. Right on it right there. Toronto will throw in. Uccello surrounded by 2 New York sweaters.
Luke has done well there to wriggle out of trouble. TFC look a little bit more dynamic tonight. I think Edwards, Mirabelli, and Luke have brought that to the side.
There's Jay Chapman. Wesley Sharpie. Chapman again. Uccello. Mirabelli will knock it down there. Bully. The pressure. And turned over.
Good pressure from the TFC player, from the center forward, that resulted in TFC getting the ball back. Though unfortunately, we've just given it away.
Williams. And DeFont.
Someone's got to drop in,
Chapman. Babuli. Babuli pushing forward. He has Edwards and finds him. Edwards surrounded by blue shirts. And that's pushed out by Leo Stoles. All USL regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Wesley Sharpie tries to run that down, not able to do so, but Toronto will get the throw here. Comes into Uccello. Bouchard will have to run that down. Great sliding challenge there to knock it away from an on-pressing Manolo Sanchez. Mark Anthony Kay crosses for Mirabelli. It's Massimo Mirabelli. Plays in for Bernal. Bernal tries to cross in, it's blocked. Bernal with it again. Another opportunity, blocked by a New York defender, and it's cleared out to midfield, where Skylar Thomas is there to meet it. Sharpie. Mirabelli, now Sharpie again. Uccello. Chapman steps up there. New York maintains possession, however. Comes to Sanchez. Sanchez tries a one-touch lob. It's blocked by Mark Anthony Kay. Sanchez will try again. Now it's Sean McLaws. Sean Davis. Michael DeFont plays over for Plua. Davis. McLaws. Blocked and intercepted by Kay. Chapman. Kay. Uccello.
Good composed play from TFC there.
Uccello with lots of space to work with. Sends it up onto the right side for Mirabelli. Mirabelli will run onto it. Carries it into the area. He's knocked off it. Still with it now. There's a shot. And it's gone just wide.
Great play from Mirabelli there. He was always going to cut back to his left foot. Gets a good strike off there. Looks like we've got a corner there.
It's a left-footed strike from Mirabelli. There is some discussion, but it is going to be a corner awarded to Toronto. And unsure if Santiago Castano was having more issue with his teammates defending or with the referee's call there of a corner kick, but it was a good play from Mirabelli. Looked like he was knocked off it, but as you said, remained composed and was able to get a second opportunity. Now Chapman will play in on the corner. Big booming kick will curl around the back of the goal and will be a goal kick. And at some point, do you maybe start considering having someone else take these corner kicks? Chapman hasn't been very impressive with any of them so far this evening.
His corners haven't been great, but probably technically he's the best player on the field, so we know he can do it.
Bully is a guy who has taken a lot of corners and free kicks for Toronto as well, so there are options out there for the Reds. Skylar Thomas heads it forward. Bernal tries to head that just a little bit out of his range. There's Obukop. Sharpie, a good challenge there. Will knock it out. This comes for Stoles. Obakop will cross in. And Roberts will handle easily as he has Stefano Bonomo on the doorstep.
Get with it! Get with it!
Pushed down by DeFont.
Great goalkeeping from Q there. I could hear him from here. That's what the back four want to hear. His authority back there, but he needed to just hold on to the ball for a sec there and give his team a chance to get out.
Leo Stoles carries forward. That's Obakop. On the far side, working against Skylar Thomas. Thomas gets a foot to it. It'll be another turnover for New York. Mirabelli's given that one away back, however. There's Williams. McLaws. Davis. And he wins a free kick there off Sal Bernal. Looks like New York will try to do something with this. They'll push a few sweaters into the box. We're just under 5 minutes remaining in first half before stoppage time. And you know that first goal is paramount for both clubs.
And the last thing you want to do is concede just before halftime.
It's played in, headed on, and it's just over the goal. Good deflection there from the New York player. Was able to get a second touch. And it looks like they're going to award a corner here.
Fantastic free kick there. Good header, and a TFC deflects off the TFC player for a corner.
I think it may have been off Sharpie. It'll be a second set piece for the Red Bulls. This one coming from the corner. They've got two players there. Swung in by Davis. It's headed, goes to the back post, and it rolls away. Plua will loft it back up. Uccello will just clear it out to touch to relieve the pressure a little bit from Toronto, as New York starting to look a little bit dangerous in the dying moments of this half.
Great near post flick from New York there. They just needed the second striker to come in at the back post.
McLaws will throw in. Foul on New York, and it will be a Toronto free kick, and that is
foul throw in. You don't see that called very often.
No, you don't. That's one way to sort of get the pressure off your back, is to have that handed to you. Ball looking for Sal Bernal, a little bit out of his reach. Comes back to Castano.
Good pressure again there from TFC.
Sharpie stepped up there. Thomas steps up as well with a slide challenge, and it's created some numbers for New York as they push forward, looking for a cross in, and it's done well by Bouchard to intercept that. Kabuli, a little bit of a fake out there, but McLaws does well to get it back. McLaws crosses in. There's Davis looking for a teammate. There's a strike, and it's over the goal.
Fantastic soccer there from New York. That's one of the negatives of playing high pressure. One mistake can lead to the team getting in.
Leo Stoles with the opportunity there from the edge of the area, and it was quite high and not dangerous for Colin Roberts. Mark-Anthony Kaye pushes forward, headed up by DeFont. Edwards goes up, able to get that away from Williams. But Bully again tries a little bit of a fake. The New York defender reads it well. The counter comes, and here's Sanchez. Uccello providing the defense, knocks him off the ball, and that's going to be a free kick for the Red Bulls. Under a minute and a half to stoppage time in the first half. And the free kick will come for New York from just outside the penalty area on this right side.
Another dangerous free kick position here. Not a whole bunch in it, but I think he just catches him there. Ref gives a foul. I think Mabuli's got to put that trick away for the night. That's twice in a row it hasn't worked.
Yeah. It will be Sean Davis, that's number 27 there, standing over the ball. Two-man wall of Uccello and Bernal. Everyone else pushed into the middle of the field.
I've been in Bubelli's shoes here right now, and he's thinking, please do not score.
Davis crosses in, comes to a Toronto player. That was Mirabelli, and then Chapman was able to push it out. New York still threatening, however. There's a strike from Obakop, not a very dangerous one, and it will be a goal kick for Quillen Roberts. As we come up on 45 minutes here, the fourth official is out to announce how much time will be added on.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 1 minute has been added. 1 minute has been added.
Quick first half, quick pace, not a lot of stopping, not a lot of injury breaks. One substitution made by Toronto.
No goals this half, but some real good football from both teams.
Mark Anthony Kay, Adam Bouchard, Wesley Sharpie, Mirabelli, Sharpie, Bernal. One touch, we'll get it back. Bernal, there's Babuli. Bernal looking to run onto it, and he ran right past it as it was tied up with Mo Babuli. Mark Anthony Kay will have to sprint back now. Sanchez is pushing forward with some speed. Sanchez will try a cross in, and this will not get anywhere near the goal. Quillen Roberts will take it. And that will probably wrap up the opening half.
That looked like a foul on Bernal there. I think maybe the ref played advantage. It never really led to anything. That was one she could have pulled back.
And there is the whistle for the end of the first half. There is no score between Toronto FC 2 and the New York Red Bulls 2. I would say it was pretty even overall in terms of even scoring opportunities and amount of possession. Terry, your overall thoughts on the opening 45 minutes?
Yeah, I think TFC just edged it. I think they look very good in midfield. The distances are right. The passing's good. We just need to score that goal. Some great build-up play, but not a real cutting-edge chance, but one or two half chances.
We'll hear from Jason Bent right before the second half, but you know Jason Bent a little bit. What do you imagine the message in the locker room is at this point?
I think he'll be really happy at the minute. I think he'll keep it going, same as we've been doing. Believe in what we're doing. Keep playing forward when we can. It looks like that diag in behind is working for us as well. Edwards kind of drifted out of the half, so hopefully we can get a little bit more from him as well.
No bookings in the first half either. Not too much of a chippy affair, but a couple of plays that looked like they could have gone for a booking, but the official deciding to just keep it in her pocket. And right now we've got Chantal Blais standing sidelines with Raheem Edwards. Chantal?
Thanks, Matt. Raheem, high-paced 45 minutes. Overall thoughts on that first half?
It's going well, both sides. It's a matter of who scores their opportunity first to get one up on the board.
And you guys seem to have most of the majority of the possession. What'll be the difference to get that first goal?
Just taking your chances, being ruthless in front of the net, having patience in the attack and third. That's all it takes. Just patience and being ruthless in front of the net.
Well, good luck in the second half. Thanks. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Chantal. So that's Raheem Edwards. He had a very strong first half, and we'll see if those adjustments that he spoke of will be implemented in the second half and see what Toronto can do moving forward. We'll hear from head coach Jason Bent. Chantal sat down with the coach last week to find out a little bit about the first-year TFC2 head coach. That interview coming up in about 5 minutes' time, so make sure you come back and join us for that. You're watching Toronto FC2 Soccer on TFC Live.
And please welcome to the field your Kia Toronto FC Academy to present the check to Nalish Shuhan. Community partnerships with MLSE Foundation for almost $10,000. Funds raised through the ticket program supports the Kickstart Soccer program of free 8-week program happening in 15 at-risk communities across Toronto. The program reaches over 300 kids and trains 50 community coaches per year to deliver introductory soccer programming. Thanks for helping provide kids with access to sport and the opportunity to dream big on the pitch. Let's give them a hand.
Jason Bent, head coach of Toronto FC 2. Let's start from the beginning. When did you know soccer was going to be the main focus of your life?
Well, you know, coming up as a youth in Brampton, playing the game, and you love the game and you have a lot of passion for it, but you don't really know until you start to reach 15, 16 years old. I then started to focus on soccer. Then obviously I was doing quite well with my youth teams, but it wasn't until the Under-20 World Cup in Malaysia, played against some of the top players in the world. We had a game against Argentina in the group phase. Raquelme, Pablo Aymar, Walter Samuels, Cambiaso, some really big players, and ended up scoring a free kick goal from 25, 30 yards. I think after that World Cup I started to realize that I could possibly make a living from this game.
And following these dreams, how important was the support from your family and friends to make these dreams come true?
Yeah, it's immense. You know, I would not have gotten to the level I reached as a player or as a coach without the support of my family, my brother, my parents, my cousins. Really, really supportive for me in everything I did. Even to this day, my parents are at every single game, whether it's the first team games, also with my team, with TFC2. Even when I coached with the Under-19 Academy team, they were at every single game showing their support. So it's an understatement to say that without them, I would not have reached the levels I did.
You have many accolades, many successes. If you could narrow it down to at least two, what would be the two fondest soccer memories you have?
I would say winning 2 championships in 3 years with Plymouth Argyle Football Club. It was a really special moment. You know, you go your entire career, whether it's a player as a coach, and to win prizes is not easy. And if you're able to accomplish that, it gives you a sense of gratification for sure. Also representing Canada, you know, the first time pulling on the shirt for the Canadian national team, the senior men's team, out in Edmonton in a 2-2 draw with Mexico. I started and played the whole game at 19 years old. It was a really big moment for me.
You played in the MLS. You helped Colorado Rapids reach the finals for the first time. How would you compare North American soccer from back then to now?
To be honest with you, in the MLS at that time you were playing in American football stadiums that were 80, 90,000 seat capacity, but only getting 15, 20,000 people. And we played in the Open Cup final against Rochester, actually. We lost to them in the final 1-0, but that was at Crew Stadium. And Crew Stadium was the first soccer-specific stadium in the U.S. So to see where the game has gone from there to now is immense. You know, you have stadiums all around the league. Practically every stadium has their own soccer-specific stadium. They've got training grounds. You know, the league is up to 20 teams. It's really impressive, and it gives you the sense that football, soccer is here to stay, which is fantastic for the game in North America.
And when you were playing, did you always know that coaching was going to be the next step?
Well, I was always doing a bit of coaching even when I was playing, sort of at the tail end. I had a bad injury which, you know, forced me to stop playing professionally. But I knew that I had a lot to give back. A lot of my former coaches, Paul Sturrock and Bruce Twomley, always said that I thought the game. I was a real cerebral type of player, always thinking the game. And I felt with those sort of qualities and being able to teach that I could give back to the game, so yes.
That was Chantel's interview with Toronto head coach Jason Benton. Full interview will be posted on torontofc.ca later this week. Terry, Jason Benton's a man that you've known for over 10 years, so obviously it's a great opportunity for him to have this coaching job here with TFC.
It's great. It gives him a chance to step out of the shadows. When I was playing here in the first team, he was sort of an assistant coach or third assistant coach. We always knew he knew his stuff, but didn't quite get the opportunities to get his philosophy out and have a Jason Bent soccer team. He sort of was in the foreground, but this is perfect for a young, aspiring Canadian coach. Just like the young players, this is a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, exactly. They're developing not only the players, but they're developing the coaches, because you never know, somewhere down the line, whether it's with Toronto FC or another club, maybe a head coaching gig in the MLS that's in Jason Bent's future.
For sure. If you ask him, you know, he's really happy where he is now and he's loving every minute of it, but I'm sure he has bigger and better plans.
All right, well, let's get back to tonight's game. It's Toronto FC 2 and the New York Red Bulls 2. No score after the first half, but we do have some first half highlights to look at, as there were some opportunities from both sides. In the early going, Raheem Edwards with a good play here, brought it back onto his right foot, and an easy save there for the keeper, Santiago Castano. A little bit later on, Edwards with another good opportunity, tries to chip it over the keeper, but Castano does well to come out and block that attempt. New York with their best opportunity of the night, or not their best opportunity, their first good opportunity, but Skylar Thomas with a good defensive play there. Massimo Mirabelli with a good left-footed strike as well, easily handled by the New York defense. Quillen Roberts has been active tonight as well. This was a dangerous opportunity off a free kick for New York. Took a deflection, led to a New York corner as well. This was probably the best opportunity New York had. That was Leo Stoles, who put it over the bar. Terry, we talked a little bit about it as we were heading into halftime. New York has looked as impressive as Toronto tonight. It seems like New York is a team that, whether it's down here in the USL, of course, a 4-1 New York victory earlier this season, or even in the history of the MLS, New York always seems to have Toronto's number. And you can speak about that firsthand, having played with TFC for 3 seasons against these guys.
Yeah, we've not had much joy against New York over the years. Fortunately or unfortunately, Mr. Thierry Henry, I came up against a few times, which was a fantastic experience, and to play against somebody like that was great. Funny story, a guy who got traded from New York to Toronto told us a story about Thierry Henry. He'd come up from South Africa, was living in New York, playing every week for New York, but unfortunately at the time he was making minimum wage, and he was taking 7 buses into training. He was in a flat share. He could hardly afford to eat, but he was playing in front of, sorry, I'll finish this after
yeah, we'll get back to the story in just a second.
Up.
Yeah, we'll get Terry to finish the story, but first Chantel has Jason Bent down on the sidelines. Chantel?
Thanks, Matt. Jason, a high-paced first 45. Overall thoughts on that first half?
Overall thoughts, I thought overall they were only dangerous on the couple of mistakes that we made in our defensive third. They had 2 occasions where they possibly had chances, but other than that, I feel it's the best first half of football that we've played in a very, very long time, maybe all season. But I've also learned that when you have your period on top, that you need to capitalize and score one of your chances to kill the spirit of the opposition. But if we can continue to play through their high press, then I think it'll bode well for the second half.
And where do you think the key will be to keep that intensity for the full 90 minutes?
Well, I don't have the crystal ball, but if I did, hopefully our energy levels are still high. We'll make a couple of substitutions to bring in some fresh legs. But I expect the same again.
Well, good luck in the second half. Thanks. Back to you, Matt.
Thank you, Chantel. All right, Terry, let's get you to finish that story. There was a player who took 7 buses into training. That's where you left us off.
Yeah, he just signed in New York. He was playing every week in front of 30,000 at Red Bull Stadium. Unfortunately, because of the cap, some players have to make minimum wage. So Thierry Henry hears him at training saying, you know, I'm supposed to be living the dream. I'm supposed to be this professional football or soccer player. What's going on? I can hardly afford to eat. So anyway, the next day after training, Thierry Henry says to Danley Borman, look, I'll give you a ride home from training. Danley's like, oh, it's all right, Thierry, it's okay. He says, look, I insist I'll give you a ride home. They drive 3 miles down the road, turn into a BMW garage or dealership, and Thierry says to him, look, you've been like a big player for us this year. You should be able to afford a car in these things. You know what? Go in there and you pick whatever car you want, and I'll put it on my card. It's on me, and you just run through a wall for the team. So anyway, Danley goes in there. He says, well, I can't do that. I can't even afford the insurance. Anyway, Thierry Henry says, look, I insist. He goes in there. He feels bad. He buys a Mini. Anyway, he gets traded to Toronto. Henry buys him the Mini. He's got this brand new car. They make the playoffs, and unfortunately they don't win the cup. But, you know, you hear all these bad stories about professional soccer players, and, for me, that was pretty amazing.
That's definitely an excellent story. And what are the odds? He gets the new car and then gets traded right away.
Yeah, no.
We're back underway here in Toronto at the Ontario Soccer Centre. I'm Matt Nicolantonio. It's former TFC midfielder Terry Dunfield to my right, providing the color commentary this evening. There was one change at halftime made by the Red Bulls. Colin Heffron is out of the match. Number 93, Bolu Akinyod, is in for New York. So one substitute aside have been made. Adam Bouchard, who had the ball there for a moment, was subbed on half an hour in. He was taking the place of Clément Simonin, who was rehabbing a leg injury tonight, and Adam Bouchard coming back from a leg injury as well. There's a cross in coming from Obukop, cleared by Toronto. Not very far, however, and it's Williams with the opportunity here, looking to curl it in. It's a cross. Edwards slips on the ball and is able to compose himself, get up and clear it out towards midfield.
New York have started the half here. Hopefully, as Jason says, it doesn't happen, that the game comes back to bite them and New York make a goal here.
It's crossed in, there's a header, and right on cue, it's a goal for New York. The cross comes in from the substitute Bolu Akinyod, and the header is put in by Stefano Bonomo, I believe, number 29.
Fantastic cross there, but the TFC defending has to be better. As the cross comes in, they need to step out. They can't be sat in there, keeping the player onside. Good header.
That's the second goal of the season for Bonomo. And it puts New York up 1-0 just 2 minutes into this second half. And now for the fourth consecutive game, Toronto is fighting uphill.
29, Stefano Bonomo. Number 29, Stefano Bonomo.
This is a good opportunity, though.
There's Mirabelli looking to get on that loose ball. Sorry, Terry.
It's a good opportunity now for the coaching staff, though, for these developing players to see what sort of character they have after going down a goal like that so early after such a good first half.
And as you mentioned, Terry, Jason Bent touched on it. He said he knows that when you have your period on top, if you don't take advantage of it, that can come back to be a detriment for you, and that certainly was the case for Toronto. They had some opportunities in that opening half and did not capitalize, and now they find themselves behind a goal.
I've heard of the commentator's curse, but I've never heard of the coach's curse. For me there, though, on the goal, the two center halves have to do better. As that ball gets laid back to the fullback to cross it, they both need to come out, and they can't be playing the center forward onside like that.
Correction to a stat I passed along earlier, that is the 5th consecutive game that Toronto has given up the opening goal, and will have to fight from behind. They were able to pull out a victory in one of those games. That was a week ago today against the Richmond Kickers. They conceded the opening goal 55 minutes in, and were able to strike back 20 minutes later and then find a winner in stoppage time. So it's certainly not all doom and gloom for Toronto just yet. This is crossed in. Bubuli, the intended target from Edwards. And I believe a foul on Edwards now is called, and it will be a New York free kick.
Chapman had a really good first half. A lot of his good play was a little bit deeper, but I'd like to see if possible if he could get a little bit higher, do a little bit more damage in the final third.
And with Toronto behind a goal here and perhaps looking for an offensive spark, player on the bench that is available is Jordan Hamilton. We saw him start the last few games. Jason Bent saying one of the reasons he was not in the lineup today is that he's played a lot of minutes lately. He's been in all, I believe all 4 of the previous games in this 5 games in 15 days stretch. So trying to manage his minutes a little bit.
Yeah, and they've all been 90 minutes. He's played every minute of the 4 games. Jordan, he's technically, physically, he's got all the attributes to be a top player. He's just a little bit short of confidence right now. He just needs that goal.
Has been a tough season for him. Just 3 goals on the campaign, and you know that he would have wanted to have a little bit higher statistics this season. It's swung in by Mirabelli, and it's punched up by Castano.
A little bit similar to Josie Altidore on the first team. He's been struggling for a goal. Today he comes on and scores 2, so hopefully that kicks off his season right now.
Sharpie trying to carry it towards the corner. Defense there comes from Leo Stoles. Don't forget to visit the new USLsoccer.com, get the latest news and live stats, and check out the social media hub as Mobabuli tries to cross this in. Takes a double deflection. And now cleared as far as Skylar Thomas. And a little bit of a tug on the jersey there from Bonomo, the goal scorer. And it will be a free kick for Toronto. And the referee pulling this back A little bit farther than I would have thought.
No, she wasn't having anything of the quick free kick, but good defending from Sky with a good upper body strength to win at the back.
There's Uccello, and now Babuli, and I believe that's the offside flag up. Babuli just a little bit ahead of the play there.
That's easy.
Great disguise on the pass there from Luca coming through. We haven't seen the replay, but I'm sure Mo was a little bit offside. Great angled run, but he needs to just hold that run.
Did you think perhaps Uccello would have been better served to maybe take an attempt at goal there? Looked like he had some space in front of him.
Possibly keep driving at the back four there. Hope that the defender goes with Mo.
There's Mirabelli. Now Babuli. Babuli and Mirabelli were the 2 goal scorers last week when Toronto erased that 1-0 deficit in the second half. Mark Anthony Kay with a strike, and it's just over the goal.
Wallop, what a strike that with his bad foot there. Normally he crosses from that angle with his left foot. He cuts inside and smacks it with his right foot.
And it was a very quick delivery.
Great strike there from his right foot. That wouldn't have looked out of place at BMO.
Thomas goes up, uses the height advantage there to push it back forward. And that's now headed back by Conrad Plua, and it will be a corner one for Toronto. So much like on Wednesday, following the goal, Toronto has really come out and pushed on the attack. And they've looked the more dominant of the 2 sides since falling down 1-0.
I think Mr. Bent's been listening to you because they've changed the corner kick taker here. Mo's going to take it.
Babuli will play it in low and hard, and it's taken by the defender, but not cleared very far. Now Babuli tries to cross in, but it's curled well wide of the goal. So Chapman, who had been kicking it a little bit too strong, past the goal, and now we see Mo Babuli come in and not even able to get it to the near post.
Yeah, that's like my golf game. That's like my putting. Mo could have been, just then, could have been a little bit more patient. They outnumbered New York there on the side. They could have played a bit of soccer to get in behind rather than just lashing across into the box.
Edwards tries to step up there, but it's off his foot and out to touch.
One thing that's been evident tonight, Matt, is TFC's pressure in their front 3 is done. They're working really hard to get the ball back.
Chip forward, Bernal, and the flag up there. This one is out of bounds. New York quickly getting it back in. Williams. Jay Chapman slipping on this artificial turf there. And a little bit slow to get up as Obicott pushes forward. And he is pushed off the ball there. Good defense from Wesley Sharpie, and he is the last one to touch it. So it's a goal kick to Quillen Roberts.
Good play from the New York player in the middle, sprays it out wide. But Sharpie's so good one-on-one defending, and we've seen it there.
Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. Roberts pushes this up. Edwards goes high up there to win that header. Looks like he may have boosted himself, however, and there was some contact there. Manolo Sanchez is down on the turf for the 2nd time tonight. The trainer being motioned on to take a look at the New York midfielder.
I should have saved my Red Bull story for now.
So we are just 10 minutes into the second half here. The Red Bulls have grabbed a 1-0 advantage on a goal from Stefano Bonomo. It was his 2nd of the season. And the substitute, Bolu Akinyode, who came on at halftime, was the one providing the assist. A beautiful cross from the left sideline right into the middle. And that's a play that we've seen beat Toronto a couple of times now in consecutive weeks. Last weekend on Saturday, it was a header from the other side of the field right into the middle of the box. And again, a header, a cross into the middle of the box.
Yep,
and the header got into the was the providing the goal.
And also similar to the one that beat Chris Konopka in the first half as well. It's that ball in behind the back four and the goalkeeper's so hard to defend. But great quality from New York. You sometimes have to hold your hands up a little bit and say it was a good cross. But I do think, not to contradict myself, the back two could have definitely stepped up and left the New York player there on his own side.
Sharpie steps up. Looks like he's a little bit hobbled now. Crossed in by Obakop and headed away by Mark Anthony Kay. So we'll keep an eye on Wesley Sharpie as he slipped on that turf there, and looks like he may have been favoring a leg or an ankle. We know he has recently just returned from an ankle injury, and he has played so well in his return. There's going to be a substitution here for Toronto in short order. It's Bouba Job, who's come towards the sideline here. Will be subbed in at our next stoppage. Edwards up for Babuli. Unable to get around the midfielder there.
TFC need to get control back in the middle of the park. New York are taking over the game at the minute.
Substitution for TFC 2, exiting the match, number 42, Massimo Mirabelli.
Mirabelli is the one to come out. I thought it was a strong showing for Mirabelli tonight and had the one scoring opportunity.
Yeah, he's a strong athletic player. He cut inside well on his left foot. Wasn't able to test the keeper. He did get a corner, but yeah, he's a player I like.
It was a well-earned start. He came on as a reserve in the last two matches. Scored last weekend against Richmond and had some opportunities in the late going on Wednesday against Harrisburg City. And for his goal against Richmond last weekend, was named to the USL Team of the Week. This is crossed in for Bernal.
Great defending from Bernal.
Just in the wrong end of the park for Bernal to be providing that type of defense. Headed it back towards midfield when it would have been certainly not what he was intending to do, but would have been better to move over to his teammate there, who was just beside him.
That was my sarcasm. That's my time anyway. Job did quite well the last game. I'm excited to see him now. He's got a great change of pace. He doesn't cut inside as much as Mirabelli. He seems to stick out by the side of the pitch.
This is his third appearance for TFC2. He started in each of his previous two matches. And here's Edwards, just across midfield. Jay Chapman. Edwards.
Good, great patient play from TFC there.
There's Mark Anthony Kay now. Kay will cross in. Uccello knocks it down. Chapman was in the area, but not able to get a touch to it. And now carried out by Sean Davis. Stoles. This is chipped in, intended for Stoles, but a little bit too far for him.
It's important we don't go gung-ho here. We do keep our shape. We lost both our midfielders there, and all of a sudden New York were at the back four.
Uccello, Bouchard. Plays up, intending for Edwards. Edwards not able to rein that one in, and then pulls down the defender, Michael Defont.
Good ball from Bouchard in behind the back four there. But credit to the New York defender. That was good defending.
Akinyod. Blew up. Davis. Stoles. Cross in is blocked by Mark Anthony Kay, deflected and handled by Quillen Roberts. We'll throw it up, looking for Job. Defense coming from Akinyod. Job, a little bit of a crossover back to his left side for Uccello. He pushes through. Stoles trying to drag him down. Uccello still with it. And now we'll just push back for Skylar Thomas. Babuli. Sharpie on the wing.
Not a great first touch from Bouba there. Before, when he had him one-on-one, I would have liked to see him knock him into the corner. And be a little bit more direct.
This Mark Anthony Kay. Adam Bouchard will just boot this down into the New York territory where it's taken by Michael DeFont. Plua. Back for his goalkeeper, Castano. Thomas heads forward. Nearly an interception there from Jay Chapman at midfield, but maintained by Sean Davis. Now intercepted by Chapman. As Job running on the right. And on the left is Bernal, crossed in. It was a shot, and it was saved by Castano. It looked like Bernal was going to try and cross it, and he took a quick strike and made Castano make an excellent save and push it up over the bar.
Great play from TFC. Chapman goes out wide to Bernal. Good left foot shot from Bernal, and good goal, equally good goalkeeping.
This is Babouli again. Played short for Chapman. Comes back out to Babouli. He plays it in. Edwards goes up, but not very close to being a threat there from Raheem Edwards.
No, I think tomorrow set pieces will be something Jason Ben will be working on. And it's too bad the quality's not been there, because Skylar's won everything at the back. He just needs an opportunity to go ahead and attack something. He doesn't even have to be that good a ball. He's that good in the air. As I say that, it is as a header.
Well, we have seen him score on a set piece with a header earlier this season.
3-on-2 here. Good opportunity.
There's Job. Job for Babouli. Babouli to the left foot, and it's blocked.
Great defending from the New York player.
I think that was Sean Davis who went down to block that attempt from Mo Babouli. Bonomo plays that off the chest, and now Bouchard will play up for Mark Anthony Kay, but Toronto continues to press as they look for that equalizer.
It was good composure from Mo, but the defender read him well.
Edwards able to keep that in play. Davis. Akinyod. Open top. Akinyod. Williams.
Good possession from New York here. It's important TFC brought back into their shape.
McLaws working against Edwards. He's able to cross it in. Bonomo pulls down Mark Anthony Kay. Foul called there on New York, as we're going to see a substitution here.
Substitution in the 65th minute by New
Sean
York
Davis
Red
will
Bulls
be
to
exiting,
the match. Number
and
27,
Daniel Bedoya
Sean
will be coming
Davis. Entering the match, number 88, Dan Bedoya.
So Terry, as we move into the final 25 minutes or so here,
Ladies and gentlemen,
what
TFC
should
2 would
we
like
be
to thank you
looking
for
for Toronto to be attempting to try and break through and get a goal here? Hopefully it is an equalizer.
Would like to thank you.
I think I'd be quite happy right now. I'd just say same with the more. I'd be a little bit wary that we don't get caught on a counter-attack, but I think TFC are playing some really good stuff. Unfortunately, we got caught by a sucker punch in the first half. Good, that we probably could have done better on, but no, I'd be just more of the same.
Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. An exclusive giveaway there offered up by the midfielder Leo Stoles. Toronto not able to take advantage, however, as they gave an exclusive giveaway right back. And New York player going down there is McLaws. New York hollering for a call, not going to get one. Mark Anthony Kay does well to save that for Toronto. Now it's Raheem Edwards pushing forward. He crosses in. It comes to Job. Job, now Babuli. Babuli looking for an opportunity at goal, but it runs a little bit out of his reach, but he's won a corner for his side.
Edwards does fantastic there. He tracks back 20 yards and then runs the length of the pitch to get his cross in. Unfortunately, Mo couldn't produce that little bit of magic needed to get his shot off, but we have a corner here.
Goes up, Chapman, and it comes down for Thomas, who will send it out off the defender, and will be another corner. This one will go to the far side of the pitch.
Chapman has to do better there. Free header right in between the sticks. At least he has to be testing the keeper.
And it will be Babuli once more. Curls this in, and it's headed up by the New York player. And will this get out? It will not. It is saved, and New York will have an opportunity to clear. Given away, however, to Job. Job is able to win it back for Toronto. Sharpie and Thomas. Now Uccello. Mark Anthony Kay. Kay pushing forward, gives it away to Stoles.
He's out of position there. He's going to have to run back.
There's Sanchez. Bouchard lays into Manolo Sanchez. In hockey, you'd call that an excellent open ice hit, and not surprised at all that Adam Bouchard gets shown the yellow card there.
Nope.
And it's the third time Manolo Sanchez is on the turf.
No, it's something you might see at the Air Canada Centre there. It's actually quite a smart foul there, because if he goes past him, he's almost in on net. So in the soccer world, it's almost a professional foul there. So you didn't get booked, but you don't mind taking a yellow card there. The last thing you want him doing is coming in one-on-one with Q.
And as mentioned, Adam Bouchard he's a smart defender, and he is not afraid to. That's sort of his game that I've noticed this season. He's not afraid to be physical when holding these top players off the score sheet. And
no, he's a no-nonsense defender. He's quite similar to a player I played with here, and actually looks the same as Richard Eckersley.
No, played in, and the header coming from Akinyod is sort of fans on it, and as Terry mentioned, offside.
That's a better line from TFC.
Substitution for TFC.
And Jordan Hamilton will be coming in here. Sal Bernal's night is done. So with a deficit on the horizon right now, Jason Bent opting for a little bit more goal-scoring touch, and Jason Hamilton will enter for Sal Bernal.
Yeah, sometimes coming off the bench, there's a little bit less pressure on you. You're not the main man starting. So maybe this will be just what Jordan needs to get that elusive goal.
Jordan, I believe, came off the bench on August 1st against Louisville City and scored in the 80th minute of that match. That was his most recent goal. Skylar Thomas with an interception here. Chapman, Sharpie, Thomas, Babuli. Here's Job. Chapman fans on that a little bit, creates an opportunity for Sanchez, but he floats it up to Quillen Roberts. I'll be interested to see the connection between Chapman and Hamilton. It was very strong a week ago in Chapman's first game back down here in quite some time. Although I think based on the formation, Chapman is playing a little bit more of a defensive role than
he's been the
night.
deep line midfielder. But Jordan can definitely get on the end of one of his long diagonal passes.
Edwards. Now it's Babuli. Cross in looking for Edwards. It's headed looking for Hamilton, excuse me. It's headed away. Akinyod.
There's definitely been some good passing from both teams today. They're definitely playing the game of soccer in the right way, in the right fashion.
There's Defont. Bedoya.
Good
taken
patient
away.
defending from TFC there.
Chapman. Pass for Job, not strong enough. Akinyot will step up, and Obakop will carry it. Obakop, the shot. Great save by Roberts, and Thomas is able to clear.
Fantastic save from Roberts there, but TFC got themselves into trouble there as Sharpie left too early. We see him there shooting with his left foot.
Now Job
Good
trying
save.
to run it down. Job working back towards the middle, able to find Uccello. Uccello. Hamilton goes up with the head, comes down to Job. There's Babuli. Babuli carries, strike, and it's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the area and a yellow card for Michael Defont.
He's a little bit unlucky there because I don't think he knew that was going to hit him in the arm there. It wasn't intentional, but we get a free kick in a great spot. As I was saying a little bit earlier, the ball didn't quite get out to Joe, but Sharpie had already left. He's got to wait till that ball gets to Joe before the overlap.
Caution in the 72nd minute by New York Red Bulls number 44.
Babuli just hammering it right into the defender there,
Number
Defont.
44.
And I think I can hear the fourth official here communicating with the head referee that the goalkeeper just kicked the ball away and that should be a caution for the goalkeeper. And we do see the head referee go caution goalkeeper Santiago Castano. So that's an instance where we see great eyes by the fourth official and using the communication. They, of course, each wearing headsets that they can speak to each other with, and he's able to communicate that to the head referee that the goalkeeper deserves a caution.
Exactly, great ears and eyes there, Matt. Fourth official was probably getting a little bit cold, sat down there and wanted to get involved.
This is going to be, this is almost a little bit too close for Toronto. You don't have a lot of real estate to work with, and you know, can stack that wall up right in front of you. Not only is it close, it's also right in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. This is where maybe you need to change your technique. You don't need to go over the wall, whereas maybe now you need to bring out power.
It was very close to this spot, maybe about 5 yards back, that we saw a magnificent goal from Sebastian Javinko this afternoon. Hopefully Babuli or Hamilton were watching this afternoon, and maybe...
Yeah, it was a great strike from Javinko into the top corner.
Babuli hammers that right into the wall. I think it hit his teammate. And now it comes out for Sharpie. And that's a foul on Sharpie, and it will be a Red Bulls free kick.
Yeah, Sharpie tried a little bit too hard there. He needed to keep the ball and keep possession. He was running down a blind alley there.
There's Chapman with it now. Sharpie. Headed forward by Akinyot. Bedoya. Bedoya carrying in. There's a strike, and it's gone off the post. It comes back for Sanchez, and it's blocked by Mark-Anthony Kaye. Fortunate there for Toronto as Bedoya hits the bar.
It was a great first touch there from Bedoya. He runs at the back four. Uses Skyler as a bit of a screen there. Q gets a hand on it, just enough to put it onto the post.
Sanchez entering the match number.
You see a substitution here. Sorry, Terry. Chris Sonis, who's the Red Bulls' leading scorer with 5. He's coming in, and subbing out will be Manolo Sanchez, who we've seen a few times on the turf tonight. Let's get a second look at that Toronto free kick a few moments ago from Mo Babuli.
He actually hits his own player there, Skyler Thomas. Soccer can be a crazy game. We look like we're having a great chance to equalize there. They come down 2 minutes later, and it could be game over there if that goes in.
Corner here for the Red Bulls. Cross in, and it will come down to Jordan Hamilton. And that's an area of the Toronto defense that I think has been particularly strong this season, has been defending corner kicks. Very rarely give up solid opportunities off corner kicks. Here's Akinyod. Williams. DeFont.
TFC need to defend with a little bit more urgency right now. They can't sit back here. They're 1-0 down. They need to change their game plan a little bit. Maybe the back four can play a little bit higher.
Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Akinyod. Bedoya. Chapman intercepts that. And nearly given away. And it's a foul on Chapman. And will be a New York free kick taken very quickly. Williams scores! It's Devin Williams. New York catches Toronto off guard with a quick free kick. And they find the back of the goal.
Good heads-up play from New York right there. TFC a little bit unlucky with the deflection there, but Bedoya is causing us some problems in the hole right there at the moment that we need to rectify. Leading to that free kick, Chapman could have done a little bit better. He didn't check his shoulder. He was closed down by a Red Bulls player. Unfortunately, to get the ball back, he had to foul him, which led to the goal.
That's the first goal of the season for Devin Williams, and there's still a New York player down on the pitch.
I don't think that'll hurt as much after he hears the goal going.
And I guess there's no legitimate gripe here from Toronto. The free kick played fairly, just caught them off guard, I guess.
No, it's clever play from New York. Any advantage you can get, you take, and it's definitely heads-up play by them.
As for the foul itself, I believe Jay Chapman thinks it may have been unwarranted.
Yeah, the ball got away from him a little bit. Normally he's quite clever. He checks his shoulder, knows what's behind him. He ran into a little bit of traffic there. He tried to get the ball back and unfortunately conceded a foul.
The injured Red Bull player was Marius Obakop. He is now on the sideline on the far side of the field. We also saw Raheem Edwards checking out of the game, and Edwin Rivas has come in for Toronto. So 4 of the 5 substitutions utilized thus far by Jason Bent, but it's a 2-goal advantage for New York and just over 12 minutes to play.
It was really clever play, the more I think about it, to take a free kick like that. You don't only see that from younger players. That's normally something a wily senior veteran does.
Hamilton. We're going to get Rivas involved. It's McLaws. Williams.
Yeah, Bedoya's causing big problems in the pocket there right now.
Bouchard will collect the foul here.
That is booking written all over.
And it's a yellow card for Adam Bouchard. That's his second of the night. And it's a red for Adam Bouchard. And Toronto will now be forced to play the final 10 minutes down a man.
Yeah, I said before, professional fouls are part of the game. But when you've already got a yellow, that's not great play, really. As soon as he brought him down, he knew he was off. So we're going to need some serious character now.
Caution in the 80th minute by TFC to number 37, Adam.
I believe this is just the second red card of the season for Toronto. And it's certainly, as you said, a daunting task here. Down a man, down 2 goals. And we were going to see the 5th substitution as Anthony Osorio had come to the sideline here. There's a strike and curled in, handled easily by Quillen Roberts. Anthony Osorio looked like he was ready to check in, and he's now just receiving some more instruction from the coaching staff. Perhaps, I imagine his role will change now that they're down a man.
It's important now that the wheels don't come off. TFC are in a tough situation, 2-0 down, 10 men. You need 1 or 2 leaders out there on the field to put the players in the right positions.
Sharpie crosses in, Job in there sniffing for a loose ball, but it's handled by Castano. There's Bedoya. Plays up for Bonomo. There's McLaws. McLaws will cross in. It's a little bit over the head of his teammates, so Booba Job is able to run it down for Toronto. Now Wesley Sharpie. And this will go out for...
Not the best pass from Job there. He's put Sharpie right under pressure. He's done well to earn a free kick.
Substitution for TFC2.
Luca Uccello will be coming out,
Exiting the match,
and it will be
45,
Anthony Osorio coming in.
Entering the match, number 50,
All USL regular
Anthony
season and
Osorio.
playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today.
Luca's had a strong game in midfield, especially in the first half. I was impressed with his interplay. Defensively, he worked hard and had some good forward passes. Him and Chapman, for me, has been the best combination I've seen over the last couple of games.
Free kick here for Toronto will be taken by Babuli. Everyone pushed up, as Toronto will look to create a goal off of this piece here. Everyone except for Osorio and Job. And of course, Babuli, who is the one to take it. Quillen Roberts approaches midfield, looking on curiously. Babuli swings it in, and it's headed away. Comes back for Job. It's a strike, one-touch volley, but it will roll well wide of the goal. The idea, I guess, is there for Toronto, but the defending for New York was better.
Yeah, no, right idea, wrong player for Job there. Good effort, but
Number 21, Marius.
We're going to see a replay here. I don't think Job will want to watch this one again.
Brian Saramago.
It sat up nicely for him, just didn't quite have the technique.
Substitute for New York is Brian Saramago. He's coming in, and Marius Obakop, who we saw take a little bit of a knock just as New York was scoring their second goal. He will be done for the evening. There's Osorio. Rivas. Low cross for Job. It comes for Jordan Hamilton, and he could not get a touch to it, and it's played away by the Red Bulls. And that's just, as you've been mentioning, Terry, just lacking the confidence, and a player with a little bit more of it would be, I think, more assertive in that situation.
Yeah, possibly. A little bit unlucky. Didn't quite sit for him there, but the goalkeeper's really brave. You'll see here. Great cross. The goalkeeper comes out. He's really brave. He just doesn't quite sit for Jordan, but he doesn't really anticipate it.
Nearly given away there by Castano, as Hamilton was pressuring hard. And now New York pushing forward. But Sonis, left-footed strike, well over the goal. And Roberts will have a goal kick here. About 5.5 minutes to go.
I know Toronto FC are pushing for that goal, but it's important we don't leave ourselves that exposed at the back. That was a 4-on-2.
Sharpie, long ball up intended for Hamilton. He was in the area, and he's won a throw in for Toronto. And Sharpie will come up for it. Plays in for Babuli and played out. This will be a corner. And Babuli running over quickly, knowing that time is of the essence right now for Toronto.
The TFC goal would make it interesting now.
Yeah,
they definitely need it now.
They need 2, and just under 5 to go. Imagine we'll have a decent amount of stoppage time. Another corner one here. The deflection goes off Akinyod. And that's area, as you mentioned, a Toronto goal here. I know there would only be about 4 minutes left plus stoppage time, but would they be right there? Thomas trying to win that back, and he commits a foul. And New York will make another substitution here shortly.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a frustrating night. I mean, Toronto FC have played well. They've done more than enough probably to score a goal, but it just hasn't happened again for them in front of net. This league, I mean, you don't want to lose sight that it's important to develop players, so that they have, you know, they'll be better for tonight. They've played some good combination play, so there's definitely some positives to take out of the game.
The first New York goal scorer, Stefano Bonomo, will be coming out of the match, and it's going to be James Thomas entering. And you can file this under interesting coincidence. Thomas wears number 33, which is the same jersey number of Skylar Thomas for Toronto. So we've got two number 33 Thomas in the match now. And just about 5 minutes to play here in Toronto. And the Baby Reds are staring down another shutout defeat at home. There've been too many of those for their fans this season. Of course, they were shut out in the first 4 games at the Ontario Soccer Centre this season before finally finding a win, a 1-0 win against Charlotte. Or Charleston, excuse me.
It's not for lack of trying or commitment. They've definitely
Absolutely
worked hard tonight. It's just that little bit of quality in that final third, or getting that little bit of luck that just quite hasn't happened for them in front of goal.
And defensively, Jason Benton has told us on more than one occasion this season that it's just sort of lapses of concentration that are leading to the ball finding its way into the back of their own net.
The first goal, definitely the defending wasn't great. They could have done better on. It was a good bit of play, the quick free kick for the second one, but
I guess you could, would you not sort of characterize that as a lack of concentration as well?
Yeah.
To be taken advantage of on
yeah.
a quick free kick like that would suggest that you've let your guard down and sort of stopped playing and expect
100%. Yeah.
that slow
You want to
free
be
kick.
doing that to the other team.
Akinyod will push forward. Chapman has it for Toronto. Thomas. Now Kay.
Kay's had another solid game at left back today. He's got, not only has he defended well, he's got forward.
Sharpie throws in for Babuli. Here's Thomas. It's Thomas for New York. Pushes it forward for Sean McLaws. Crossed in, easily handled by Roberts. Chapman, long ball looking for Hamilton, headed down. And the Red Bulls will control it. Akinyod. Saramago. Bedoya. Saramago. Sharpie with an aggressive challenge there. Sharpie trying to peel away from Saramago, and now Chapman will send that upwards. Fourth official getting in position to announce out of time for this second half.
Number 88 for New York in the second half's been a handful. He's caused a lot of problems for Bedoya. He hasn't really played up front. He hasn't played in midfield. He's been that number 10 role, and TFC haven't quite got to grips with him.
The fourth official
4 minutes of added time here.
of 4 minutes.
4 minutes for Toronto to perhaps find a goal
has been
and make things
added.
interesting. Before Wednesday, they had scored goals in stoppage time in the previous 3 matches. One of those was the winner, and 2 of those were just sort of filler goals, I guess you could say. One against Montreal made it 2-1. One against Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago here made it 3-1. Will there be a stoppage time goal for the Reds tonight?
It shows we've got lots of fitness, but we just need to be in a position at that time where we're in games and we have an opportunity to win.
And that was the case a week ago against Richmond, where they had got back. They had scored that second goal just 20 minutes after going down 1-0. and put themselves in a position where that stoppage time goal was the winner for Massimo Mirabelli. There's Job, Sharpie, trying to get through the legs of Akinyod. Challenge there from Thomas. And some heated words here from Skylar Thomas, and he will get a yellow card here.
A little bit of frustration coming through from some of the TFC players, finding themselves with just 10 men, some tired legs. It's 3 games in 7 days. It's important that they keep their cool now and don't do anything silly.
And definitely, as you said, some frustration for Toronto, as you said, they're a little bit tired, and the fact that we know as well as they do that they sort of carried the play for the majority of this game, but just were not able to convert those opportunities, and as a result, it's going to be a loss for them when they probably feel that they deserve a W.
Yeah, there's a saying in soccer, goals changes games, and New York scored at the right time, and all of a sudden TFC were again climbing a hill, which we've seen quite a bit this season, and unfortunately they've not been able to do it tonight. But credit to New York. New York have been good today.
It's crossed in. It comes back for McLaws. His strike is blocked by Mark-Anthony Kay, and this will deflect out for a corner. The original ball played in there by Leo Stoles for New York.
Caution in the 91st minute by TFC2, number 33, Skylar Thomas, number 33.
It's going to be Bedoya. Plays this in short. Thomas back for Bedoya. Bedoya looking to cross back in.
Great feet there from Bedoya.
James Thomas and now McLaws. Conrad Plua and McLaws again.
At times like this, it's sometimes good to have a more of a senior head out there. This is when you need an experienced players, but it'll be good learning experience for the TFC players.
Offside flag up on Jordan Hamilton. That plagued him a lot on Wednesday evening against Harrisburg. And I know a lot of the Toronto players were talking about that after the game, feeling frustration that every time they tried to make a run behind the back line, the offside flag was up.
Yeah, watching the game back, 1 or 2 were quite tight. They could have gone the other way, but Jordan can definitely angle his runs and not be so vertical, so that he is caught offside all the time.
There's Osorio, and now Job.
See, I'd like to see Booba go right at the fullback there and try and take him on rather than coming inside with it.
Lofted in, Job. Job trying to get in a shooting position. It's Sharpie. There's Osorio. Hamilton. Not much time left here for Toronto. Sharpie, the referee checking her watch. And I'm sure as this goes out of bounds, that will likely be it. There it is. That's the full-time whistle from Toronto. Final score at the Ontario Soccer Centre. It's the New York Red Bulls 2 and Toronto FC 2 0. And for the second consecutive game, second time in 4 days, a game that Toronto probably could have, you figure, gotten at least 1 point out of. But instead, it's 0 points again. And not really the result to reflect the effort.
Yeah, for me it was a game of 2 halves. TFC were better in the first half. Second half, New York stepped their game up a bit and scored when they had their chances.
Again, the final is 2-0. Our goal scorer, Stefano Bonomo, in the 47th minute. And in the 77th, it was Devin Williams. A tricky little play from New York Red Bulls 2 as they took a quick free kick and caught Toronto off guard and were able to beat Will and Roberts. So it's a second consecutive defeat for Toronto. They will have a little bit over a week off before their next game. That will come on Sunday afternoon. It's a 3 o'clock start against the Charlotte Independents. That's Sunday, August 30th at 3 o'clock. And of course, we will have all the action for you here on tfc.ca. For our entire technical and production crew, for Terry Dunfield and Chantal Blais, I'm Matt DiNicolantonio. Thank you for watching us tonight. Have an excellent Saturday evening. Good night from Toronto.